The morning sunlight seeps through my partially drawn blinds, enveloping the small homemade cake I prepared last night in a gentle, warm light. I glide my fingers across the elegant blue dress I've selected for my birthday today. 2 decades and 2 years. While it may not be a significant milestone, it certainly deserves recognition and celebration. Ultimately, that's the narrative I construct for myself. My phone rests quietly on the counter next to a framed family photo captured 3 summers ago at Lake Winnebago, a time before I moved out, when I still held on to the hope that things could change. Jacob has his mother's arm comfortably draped around his shoulders. Father's hand gently supports his back. I find myself positioned a bit away, grinning broadly, as though my resolve alone could bridge the distance. The calendar hanging on my wall features today's date highlighted in red, a symbol of anticipation I inscribed weeks prior. I glance at my phone for what feels like the 100th time this morning. There are no messages. There are no missed calls. Not even from my mother, who would wake me up with birthday pancakes during my childhood. Everything is okay. The day is just beginning. We're gathering for dinner at Rosario's mother's beloved Italian restaurant. That would remain etched in her memory. I reach for my phone, pause for a moment, then compose a message for our family group chat. Hey, what time shall we gather for dinner this evening? I hit send and then pause, my breath caught in my throat. 3 dots emerge, only to fade away. Silence. Time drags on. I tend to my kitchen herbs, glance at my email, and adjust picture frames that are already perfectly aligned. Yet again, there's nothing. Perhaps it went unnoticed. Perhaps they are occupied. Perhaps. I type once more, my fingers wavering just a bit. Mother? Father? I'm reaching out to confirm our plans for this evening. The stillness lingers into the afternoon. A familiar knot forms in my stomach. I experienced this during my high school graduation, as the ceremony was filled with hushed conversations about Jacob's middle school science fair victory at my college awards banquet, where they departed prematurely for his baseball game. However, today is not that day. This is not the day I celebrate my birth. I hit the call button before I can talk myself out of it. My heart races as the phone rings once, twice, 3 times. Oh, hello, Sarah, how are you doing? Mom's voice carries a laid-back, unfocused quality. A chill takes root in my chest. Hello, Mom. I was inquiring about dinner plans for this evening. Shall we have dinner? A moment of stillness hangs in the air. Excessive and overly explanatory. Oh, darling, I ought to have mentioned it sooner. I clutch the edge of the counter, fully aware of what is about to unfold. Tonight, we're treating Jacob to a celebration. A quiet exhale escapes my lungs. However, today marks my birthday. Is that happening today? Her voice ascends in feigned astonishment. I recognize the falseness in it, having witnessed her authentic surprise just last week when Dad arrived with flowers, the sharp intake of breath, the unfiltered joy. This stands apart. This is a performance art form. In the distance, Jacob's laughter reaches my ears. Inform her that we will be bringing some leftovers. My sight becomes hazy. I shall not weep, tears will not fall from me. This moment, however, is fueled by an unexpected, illuminating fury. This was not a matter of forgetfulness. This was a decision. Indeed, I assert. My voice possesses an unsettling calmness. The dinner honoring Jacob's scholarship. Ah, you recalled. Mom seems to breathe a sigh of relief, as though I've provided her with just the right justification. We intended to have you with us, dear, but the reservations were limited and... Everything is all right. The words slip out, tightly held back. Wishing you a restful night ahead. At 16, I find myself reminiscing, watching Mom gently brush Jacob's hair in preparation for his class picture, all while I make my way to school. At 18, on graduation day, I watch as everyone hurries past my honor cords to celebrate my brother's achievement of making junior varsity. At 21, I'm assisting with Jacob's move into his dorm at Dad's alma mater, as they fondly recall the cherished traditions of the past. Half a year has passed since I left, naively believing that separation could rekindle their affection. Continuing to reach out each week, attending Sunday dinners, and upholding the illusion of a typical, affectionate family. Such a squandered opportunity for optimism. I gaze at my reflection in the microwave door, cheeks flushed, eyes sparkling with intensity. With careful intention, I move my hand to the back of my neck and release the clasp of the silver necklace my mother gifted me last Christmas. It wasn't selected for me, it was the same one she provided to my cousin Bethany and my Aunt Lisa. Functional. Effective. One present, 3 ladies marked off her list. I set it down on the counter and look away. My phone vibrates with a message, but it's not from my parents, it's from Daniel. Wishing you a fantastic birthday. I'm eagerly looking forward to our time together this evening. Daniel, with eyes that sparkle at my arrival, whose parents inquired about my favorite cake flavor last week in a way that now feels more significant than mere small talk. I erase the heartfelt message I began composing for my parents. My hands quiver just a bit as I reach for the phone to call Daniel instead. As he responds, I'm taken aback by the power in my voice. Hey, do you have any plans for this evening? This evening, the focus is on celebrating Jacob instead. The words struggle to escape as I hold the phone firmly against my ear. As I gaze through the window, a cardinal gracefully alights on my modest balcony railing, its vivid red plumage striking against the dimming afternoon glow. Excuse me? Daniel's voice becomes more intense. I can envision his brow knitting together, just as it does when something feels off. Today marks the celebration of your birth. It seems that didn't quite make the cut for the priority list. I struggle to maintain my composure, yet it flickers like a candle's light caught in a breeze. Mom believed that Jacob's scholarship dinner held greater significance. Daniel's quietude on the other end conveys a great deal, succeeded by a measured breath out. I'm on my way to find you. At this moment. No, I'm okay. Sarah, the strength in his voice halts my instinctive avoidance. No one should spend their birthday in solitude. I'm already reaching for my keys. My initial reaction is to resist even more. I seek understanding, not sympathy. For years, I have meticulously shaped the facade that all is well, that the neglect from my family doesn't pierce to the core. Yet, a force within me, one that has been accumulating for 22 years, ultimately shatters. Very well, I murmur. As Daniel's soft knock echoes through the hallway, I've already unearthed a box of cherished family photographs from beneath my bed. Here I am, seated on the floor with my legs crossed, gazing at a Christmas photo from 3 years past. I'm partially missing from the shot, while Jacob takes the spotlight, his arms embracing Mom's shoulders. Daniel glances at me and immediately sinks to his knees next to me, enveloping me in his arms in silence. I wondered if perhaps I was being too dramatic. After a brief pause, I reach for my phone. I take a look at the family calendar. I access the communal digital calendar that my mom strongly encouraged us to utilize for maintaining our connections. I navigate to the current date, then rewind through the past few weeks. There it is. Join us for Jacob's celebration dinner at 7 p.m. Rosario's made its entrance 23 days ago. They didn't forget, I declare, my voice echoing with the weight of realization. The decision was made by them. Daniel delicately picks up the phone, browsing through previous occurrences. His jaw clenches as he observes what I had pointed out earlier, labeled for everyone to attend before Jacob's basketball games. Although my college honors ceremony was simply referred to as Sarah's school event. As I examine these texts, a peculiar tranquility washes over me, allowing me to finally recognize the pattern I have long refused to acknowledge. I present to him message after message, my graduation announcement met with, "We'll try to make it." Jacob's junior varsity success was celebrated with a family dinner filled with pride. "This isn't right, Sarah," Daniel says, his voice low yet brimming with undeniable frustration. "This is not how family behaves." I gaze up at him, noticing the authentic indignation reflected in his eyes for my sake. And a transformation occurs within me, akin to tectonic plates, at last liberating years of accumulated tension. My parents have been inquiring about you, he continues gently. It was observed that you were absent from Sunday dinner last week. I pause. Daniel's family has consistently shown me kindness. Yet, accepting their assistance seems like acknowledging that my own family has no desire for my presence. It feels like vocalizing the truth I've held deep within for so long. I don't require a charitable birthday celebration. I acknowledge the defensive tone that lingers in my voice. Daniel cradles my cheek in his hand. It's not an act of charity. They truly care for you. They've been curious about when they might have the chance to share a dinner with you. The difference is striking. Daniel's parents noticed my absence from a single meal, while my own parents organized a celebration without me on my birthday. With careful deliberation, I reach behind my neck to unclasp my mother's necklace once more, placing it gently on the coffee table. Allow me a moment to change, I say. 20 minutes later, we arrive at Daniel's parents' driveway. I've swapped my birthday dress for jeans and a cozy blue sweater. It may not be festive attire, but it sure is comfortable. Shield of an unconventional nature. Just as we approach the door, it swings wide, and there stands Daniel's mother, Martha, her face brightening at the sight of me. Wishing you a joyful birthday, my dear. We have been crafting something truly remarkable. She wraps her arms around me, the scent of vanilla and fresh blooms surrounding us. It's prompt, authentic, and unreserved. There's nothing quite like the rigid, forced embraces my mother gives during significant celebrations. From behind her, Daniel's father Robert emerges, cradling a small, elegantly wrapped package. Is it 22, then? We aim to present you with something truly significant. The present is an exquisite leather-bound journal. My initials elegantly stamped in the corner. Distinct from the usual offerings, yet selected with me in mind. Thank you, I cope, my throat constricted. This is absolutely ideal. My phone sits quietly in my pocket, unresponsive, while Daniel's parents guide us to their car. They've secured a table at Bellini's, the elegant Italian eatery I've expressed interest in sampling. The restaurant exudes a cozy charm, adorned with elegant white tablecloths and gentle lighting, sophisticated yet approachable. As soon as we settle into our seats, Robert calls for champagne, determined to initiate a proper toast. He raises his glass and says to Sarah, "Not only to your birthday, but to the journey ahead." Martha expresses her enthusiasm about the journey ahead for you. And to finally becoming acquainted with the young woman Daniel speaks of so admiringly. They inquire about my new position, my living space, my aspirations for what lies ahead, sincere questions accompanied by focused listening. Jacob's accomplishments go unmentioned by anyone. Time seems to stand still, with no one stealing a glance at their watch or phone. As the waiter presents dessert, a slice of tiramisu adorned with a solitary candle, I sense a surge of unspoken words bubbling to the surface, yearning to be expressed. It seems I've been searching for a sense of belonging in the wrong places. Daniel's mother insists on capturing just one more photograph. Only the two of you, nestled by the warm glow of the fireplace. She gestures for us to take our places, then retreats to capture the perfect angle. Flawless. I adjust my blue dress, the very one I had on this morning when I still held on to the hope that my family might recall my existence, and I lean into Daniel's side. His arm wraps around my waist, firm and unmistakably there. Smile, his father urges. The camera flash captures us in a moment of laughter, yet another memory immortalized. At Daniel's house, we find ourselves on the couch as his parents move about the kitchen, brewing coffee and arranging the delightful little cake they had surprised me with at the restaurant. The evening envelopes me in a comforting embrace, the delicate clinking of dishes, the hushed whispers of dialogue, the relief of a calm mind. Let's capture this moment, Daniel suggests, reaching for his phone. I am paralyzed. Oh, I can handle it. This isn't the moment. He leans in, extending his phone out in front of him. You'll be featured in these photos, birthday girl. The awareness pierces deeply. I have dedicated years to chronicling the joyous moments of others. Mom guiding me to capture a great shot of Jacob blowing out the candles. My father passing me his phone to document family moments in which I never really belonged. Daniel's parents come back with coffee and cake, but before we indulge, his mother snaps more photos of Daniel and me, just me, and all four of us with the timer. As she reveals the results to me, an unexpected tightness grips my throat. A smile graces my face. Not the polished, picture-perfect grin I've mastered for family events, but something genuine. My eyes shine with brilliance. I observe. Joyful. Please send those to me, I request, my voice quieter than I mean it to be. Once Daniel's parents have settled in for the night and we find ourselves alone in the living room, I begin to browse through the photos from the evening. The difference is striking. In Daniel's family photos, I stand at the heart, clearly seen and cherished. In the family albums, I appear as a specter, either hidden behind the lens or positioned just off to the side, grinning broadly, perpetually extending my hand. For 22 years, I have sought recognition. 2 decades of crafting justifications. They are simply occupied. Jacob requires additional focus at this moment. Their expressions of affection vary. Family dynamics can be quite intricate. My fingers linger above the Instagram app. I seldom share personal content, what would be the purpose? My family seldom participates, and I've dedicated years to crafting a light, uncontroversial feed that wouldn't cause them any embarrassment. Yet this evening, a transformation occurs within me, akin to a cog finally aligning after years of friction. Are you all right? Daniel inquires, re-emerging from the kitchen with glasses of water. Lost in thought. I touch my screen, weaving a fresh narrative. I choose a photo from dinner, Daniel's arm draped around my shoulders, his parents beside us, capturing my authentic smile. I've never felt more authentic. The caption requires 4 tries. I erase every version, doubting each choice of phrase. Excessively harsh, overwhelmingly yearning, excessively candid. At last, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Daniel and his wonderful family for making my birthday truly special. Feeling incredibly thankful for those who genuinely care about me. My thumb lingers above the share button. Years of family training come into play, avoid making waves. Please, let's not bring embarrassment upon ourselves. Maintain the confidentiality of family matters. Is this excessive? I reveal the screen to Daniel, that recognizable dial inching closer. He scans it once, then locks his gaze with mine. That's simply the reality, Sarah. Only the truth. This is not an assault. Not a fit of rage. Only the straightforward, raw reality. I pressed share before I could convince myself otherwise. The post shows up in my stories. The countdown has begun, and it lasts for 24 hours. A brief tension grips my stomach, only to ease shortly after. There's a liberating sensation in finally voicing what I've understood for so long. My phone chimes almost instantly. A heart from my college roommate, followed by yet another notification, and then another. Wishing you a wonderful birthday, Sarah. It's time for you to receive the recognition you truly deserve. You appear stunning. I trust it was memorable. I recall the day you celebrated your 10th birthday, sharing cupcakes with all of us. Your thoughtfulness has always shone through. I pause, taken aback by the mention of Mrs. Henderson, my 5th grade teacher. It's been years since we last spoke, yet she recalls a detail about me that even my own parents might overlook. Additional messages come in. Previous peers. Fellow residents. A celebration in your honor. You are worthy of the finest things in life. Forever. Stunning image. Wishing you a joyful birthday celebration. The affirmation envelopes me in surges. I assure you, I'm perfectly sane. I prioritize others. Others perceive what I have been refusing to acknowledge for an extended period. Behold all these messages, I whisper. Presenting my phone to Daniel. He grips my hand tightly. There are those who truly value your presence, Sarah. Many individuals. For an hour, the notifications keep coming in. Communications. Warmest birthday greetings. With each response, I feel a sense of lightness growing within me. Daniel and I drift into the kitchen for another slice of cake, engaging in a conversation that dances between the trivial and the profound. For the first time all day, I let go of the urge to check for messages from my family. Suddenly, my phone vibrates with a distinct sound. A brief message sent via text. "What is this post about, Sarah?" "Mother." Just as I'm about to delve into this, another message comes through. This time, it's Dad. "Is this for real at this moment?" Then came Jacob. What a theatrical display. The sound of my phone starts to fill the air. Mom's visage dominates the display. I gaze at it, recalling all the moments I've responded right away, fearful of letting her down even more. The second call arrives just 15 seconds after the first one concludes. Next, a third. Daniel observes me intently. There's no obligation to respond. I understand. For the first time, I genuinely understand that. I mute the ringer and place the phone screen side down on the counter. After a brief pause of 5 minutes, I reach for it once more. 7 missed calls. Dozen text messages. A family group chat in chaos. I inhale deeply and press the callback button. When Mom picks up on the first ring, her voice is laced with a simmering tension. "Ultimately, what are your intentions with that post? Calls are coming in for me." I tap the speaker button without a word and set the phone down on the counter, right between Daniel and myself. His presence grounds me as I get ready to share my truth once more this evening. "Hello, Mom." I express with a sense of tranquility. I wanted to express my gratitude to those who took the time to remember my birthday. Remove it. At this moment, the sound of Dad's voice lingers in the background. They should also be on speakerphone. This is utterly unacceptable, Sarah. I lock eyes with Daniel. He offers a reassuring nod. "No," I assert, the solitary word feeling both unfamiliar and potent on my tongue. "I don't believe I will." I remain completely motionless in Daniel's living room, my mother's voice resonating through the speaker of my phone. My hands quiver gently against my thigh, yet my voice holds firm, a modest triumph. I hold on to it as if it were a lifeline amidst turbulent seas. "What on earth are you up to, Sarah?" This is being observed by many. Mom's voice has a higher pitch than usual. A unique cadence that captures the essence of public blunders and social missteps. Daniel is next to me, offering his presence as a source of strength while allowing me the room to confront my own struggle. His parents have skillfully withdrawn to the kitchen, positioned just within sight through the doorway, close enough to intervene if necessary, yet distant enough to provide a sense of privacy. I selected this arena intentionally, encircled by those who genuinely care for me, rather than being alone where manipulation would be simpler. What am I up to? I find myself repeating, astonished by the tranquility in my tone. I want to express my gratitude to those who took the time to celebrate my birthday with me. Please remove that post. At this moment, Dad's voice interrupts, his barely contained frustration resonating through the speaker. He must have taken the phone from Mom. "You're unaware of the potential impact this could have on your future, Sarah." The device vibrates softly, signaling the arrival of new messages. "Jacob. Mother and father are livid. What was on your mind?" Another one comes right after. "You're amplifying this far beyond what it requires." What captivates my attention the most is the silence surrounding their words. None of them have expressed, "My apologies, we overlooked your birthday." There wasn't a single acknowledgement of my feelings. Their focus is solely on a parent show. This prompts them to seek support from friends and extended family. I won't be removing it. I utter the words spilling from my lips before I have the chance to doubt myself. I shared the reality. Daniel's family turned my birthday into something memorable, even as they opted to celebrate Jacob instead. Sarah Elizabeth Winters. Dad's voice takes on a menacing tone. Continuing this immature behavior will lead to repercussions. The stillness lingers in the space between us. Daniel extends his hand, enveloping mine, calming the quiver within. What repercussions? I finally ask, my voice more distinct than I anticipated. You've clearly indicated my position. We're on our way. Father makes a sudden announcement. This dialogue isn't taking place via telephone. I lock eyes with Daniel. He gives a subtle nod, gently squeezing my hand. That works for me. I mentioned that I encountered Daniel. His parents are present as well. The extended silence that ensues reveals all I need to know. They anticipated my solitude, my susceptibility, my pliability. Let's delve into this tomorrow. Mom seamlessly chimes in. When your mind is sharp, darling, that term of affection hits hard. Isn't it interesting how she suddenly recalls to use it now? No, I assert with conviction. If you wish to converse, please do so now. In that case, there's really no further conversation to be had. After a span of 43 minutes, they finally reach their destination. Mom's smile is fragile as she engages in small talk with Daniel's parents in the entryway. Father remains rigid next to her, his gaze flitting about the elegantly decorated house as though searching for strategic opportunities. We need to have a word with our daughter in private, Dad states, not entirely framing it as a question. Daniel's father, a man I've known for less than a year yet who recalled my birthday without any hint, takes a small step forward. He expresses that Sarah is free to seek privacy if she desires, yet she is equally invited to embrace the support available to her here. Matters concerning family should stay within the confines of the family. Father retorts, his jaw clenching. Sarah feels like one of our own, Daniel's father responds calmly. She is free to seek assistance. Her cheeks turn a deep shade of crimson. The narrative is eluding their grasp, the one where they come in, assert their dominance, and depart with my acquiescence guaranteed. I can perceive it in their gaze, the awakening understanding that they have entered unknown territory. Sarah's beloved mother makes another attempt, her tone sweetened with insincere warmth. We simply wish to grasp what has caused you such distress. The inquiry is so insincere that it nearly brings a smile to my face. Are you truly unaware? I inquire softly. You chose to celebrate Jacob instead of remembering my birthday. That's not fair, Dad starts. I didn't think you'd forget, I interject, catching myself off guard. The dinner for Jacob had been arranged weeks in advance. I reviewed the family calendar. You decided to leave me out on my birthday. This weekend was meant for us to celebrate together. Mom insists, yet her gaze drifts away from mine. No, you weren't, I assert, the conviction coursing through me like a fever breaking. This is exactly how it always goes, Jacob takes the lead, and I'm left as a mere afterthought, if I'm considered at all. Silence envelopes the room. In their expressions, I perceive an unfamiliar sight, the uneasy acknowledgement of a reality they can no longer escape, at least not within their own minds. At last, I am being noticed for the very first time. And I perceive them with utmost clarity, at last, in their entirety. Daniel's living room exudes an atmosphere reminiscent of a courtroom. The atmosphere is heavy with anticipation, nearly tangible in the soft glow of the late afternoon sun streaming through the beige curtains. I position myself upright against the sturdy cushions of the sofa, my hands calmly resting in my lap, completely still and composed. Mom and Dad stand stiffly by the fireplace mantel, their refusal of the seats offered by Daniel's parents hanging in the air as the latter quietly retreat into the kitchen. Mom adjusts her pearl necklace, the one she wears to important client dinners, and tries to smile, though it doesn't quite reach her eyes. Sarah, dear, this is simply a mix-up. This weekend, we had a delightful surprise in store for you. Dad stands with his feet slightly apart, hands clasped before him as if he's preparing to engage in a challenging conversation. This outburst on social media must come to a close immediately. Your actions are harming our family's standing. The phone vibrates once more on the coffee table that lies between us. Messages from Jacob are still coming in. I intentionally grab the phone, angling the screen for everyone to view his most recent message. Let Mom and Dad know I'm off to Ryan's house. Don't stay up for me. A rather lackluster celebration. I declare, my tone more composed than I anticipated. Mom's eyes instantly fill with tears, just like the act I've witnessed at charity events when she must seem touched by someone's kindness. After all that we've provided for you, Sarah, the chances we've offered, the encouragement we've extended. The inheritance fund from your grandmother may warrant a fresh evaluation. Father interjects, his tone composed and professional. Making financial choices demands a level of maturity and a commitment to family values. The words linger in the atmosphere, evoking a sense of discovery. Wealth. It has consistently revolved around finances. Each birthday check, each tuition payment, every gift accompanied by unseen ties. Our support for you has consistently surpassed that for Jacob. Mother insists, gently dabbing at her eyes to prevent any smudging of her mascara. He simply craved more recognition due to his unique attributes. A peculiar tranquility envelopes me. Identify a single item. I say, my voice soft yet distinct. Identify a single achievement of mine that you acknowledged in a meaningful way. The silence lingers in the air, broken only by the faint clatter of dishes being washed in the kitchen, a reminder of Daniel's parents providing us with space while staying nearby, ready to step in if necessary. During my high school graduation, you were busy whispering about Jacob's science fair project throughout the ceremony. I raise a single finger. You left early from my college awards banquet to attend his baseball game. One more finger. When I received my first job offer, you inquired whether I had thought about holding out for a better opportunity, all while organizing Jacob's graduation party a year ahead of time. One more finger. I unlock my phone and begin to scroll through my calendar, presenting it to them. You remembered my birthday. You planned Jacob's scholarship dinner on the same day, just as you've arranged something for him on every significant occasion in my life. That's not a lapse in memory, that's a deliberate decision. I angle the phone back in their direction, revealing a cherished photo album I preserved. Desolate seats at my gatherings, partially consumed festive cakes, solitary images where loved ones ought to be by my side. You're distorting the facts. Mom's voice escalates, the courteous facade beginning to shatter. These are separate occurrences that you're linking together to fabricate a misleading story. Dad strides ahead, his jaw clenched. If you wish to continue being a member of this family, it would be best to remove that social media post and cease this absurd display. That's precisely the point. I sense a liberation within Manat, a dismantling yet an emergence. It seems I've always been on the outside looking in, haven't I? I've taken on the roles of the observer, the documenter, the supporter. Always the overlooked. I delve into my bag and retrieve a petite, leather-bound journal. 3 years ago, I began to document my journey. Each overlooked achievement. All the plans that fell through. Each festivity interrupted by Jacob. Everything you need is right here. Mom's eyes grow wide at the visible signs of my suffering, undeniable proof that cannot be brushed aside as mere emotional overstatement. I refuse to put on a facade any longer. I press on, my voice growing more powerful. Recognize the way you've treated me, or simply step away. Your choices are yours alone now, not mine. Father's expression turns red with fury, reminiscent of the moments when a deal falls apart. This will come back to haunt you when you find yourself in need of our help, Sarah. Don't return with your woes when reality becomes challenging. Sarah, Mom hisses, casting a quick look toward the kitchen where Daniel's parents are feigning disinterest. Your story is capturing the attention of an audience online. What will people say? Daniel shifts from his spot by the doorway to take a seat next to me, maintaining a respectful distance yet close enough for me to sense his unwavering presence. I trust they are observing. I begin by locking eyes with her, then shifting my focus to Dad. Perhaps it will encourage another to find their voice. The astonishment etched on their faces nearly compensates for the years of suffering when they come to understand that they have genuinely relinquished control of the story. The obedient, unseen daughter they relied on to remain silent has discovered her voice, and at last, others are paying attention. Dad glances at his watch, a telltale sign of his unease when he feels he's no longer in control. Her fingers entwine with the pearls, a delicate dance of nostalgia. For the very first time, they find themselves at a loss for words with me. For the first time, I embrace the silence without the urge to offer apologies. I stand still, absorbing the strange feeling of embracing my reality as they rush to alter it. Yet, there are tales that resist alteration after they've been shared, and at last, my narrative is truly mine. The soft morning light filters gently through the curtains. I selected vibrant teal patterns that would have shocked my mother's preference for beige. It's been a month since my birthday, and at last, my apartment truly reflects who I am. Avoiding the mundane, we steer clear of conventional decor to escape scrutiny. I will no longer silence my voice. I glide my fingers across the exquisite leather journal gifted by Daniel's parents, proudly showcased on my bookshelf next to the artisan tea set his sister presented to me. Thoughtfully selected, uncomplicated presents. The type that expresses, I recognize your presence. A buzz from my phone signals a calendar reminder. I no longer recoil when it illuminates. I sifted through my contacts and eliminated the family group chat. The persistent tension within me has finally started to ease. Are you prepared? Daniel is in the kitchen, diligently washing our breakfast dishes. Nearly. I gently adjusted the emerald blouse I purchased last week, a color I've always adored yet seldom donned. Excessively daring, my mother would remark. Excessively craving the spotlight. I glimpse my reflection in the hallway mirror and hardly recognize the figure looking back at me. It's not merely the attire that reflects a bolder stance, there's an unmistakable spark in my gaze. The nervous, validation-hungry girl from my birthday morning is starting to disappear. During our third session, Dr. Lewis explains that emotional neglect is defined by the absence of certain experiences. I nod, my fingers entwined in my lap. That's the reason I questioned my abilities for such an extended period. There were no intense confrontations, no clear signs of mistreatment. Only emptiness. Steady and dependable absence in relation to my needs. What emotions arise when you put a name to that? She leans forward slightly, her eyes warm behind practical glasses. It's not that I'm losing my mind, my voice just falters. It feels as though I've been piecing together a puzzle that has always had gaps throughout my existence. Later that week, I find myself in a circle of unfamiliar faces that soon transform into something much more familiar. A group known as adult children of emotionally neglectful parents. Their narratives resonate with a disquieting sense of familiarity. After our group meeting, I notice 3 missed calls from Mom on my phone, but I simply delete the notifications without listening to the voicemails. The anticipated guilt fails to materialize. That evening at my desk, I tackle the task of addressing Christmas cards, a responsibility I've always taken on for the whole family. This year, my list is concise yet filled with significance. Every name signifies a person who has genuinely been there for me. The stack for my parents and Jacob sits empty next to my pen. After a brief pause, I place them back into their box. On my calendar, I've already noted next year's arrival, balancing the expectations of others with my own aspirations. Morning trek followed by a visit to the beloved bakery. I have composed a commitment to revel in the moment, no matter who is by my side. Your family is spreading the word that you've left them behind after everything they've done for you. Aunt Meredith's message comes through on a Tuesday morning. I gaze at it for an extended moment before I begin to type. They have every right to their interpretation of what happened. My thumb hovers over the send button as I consider adding, I'm open to a relationship that embodies mutual respect and honesty. 3 days later, Jacob's name lights up my screen for the first time since our clash. I was unaware of the actions they were taking against you. His message states, I always believed you received the better arrangement since they allowed you your space while closely overseeing my every move. I tend to take my time before responding. Recovery is not a straightforward path, and connections cannot be compelled. Yet, I hold on to the message, a slight crack that could potentially open up to something more if he is open to change. For my parents, there exists nothing but an overwhelming silence. No recognition, no accountability, merely the emptiness I've always been familiar with, now truthfully identified. To the family we select, I lift my glass, gazing around my dining table at faces aglow with candlelight and the courage to prioritize ourselves. Daniel's mother extends her hand to gently grasp mine. His father radiates pride from across the table. My college roommate taps her glass against mine. The coziness of this space sharply contrasts with that lonely birthday morning from just a few months back. My gaze wanders momentarily to the vacant chair I've abandoned in the corner of the table. Not with frantic longing, but with serene acceptance that doors may stay open without the anticipation of anyone stepping through them. Following dessert, I take a moment to excuse myself and quietly retreat to my office. The blog draft is almost finished. Searching for a place to belong. Recovering from a rift within the family. Feedback has flooded in from initial readers, individuals who see their narratives reflected in my own. I take a moment to look at the letter I've composed but not yet dispatched. I remain present, should you ever wish to genuinely understand me, it wraps up. Perhaps one day they will be prepared to delve into it. Perhaps they might not. At this time, I possess this instant. This work. This selected family that embraces one another without conditions or rivalry. At times, the most courageous act is to reshape your own narrative.